If you're an employer in California, you've probably heard the word PAGA before. And if you haven't, well, it's time to pay attention because this law has cost employers millions of dollars over the past few years. Now here's the good news. Major changes to PAGA took effect in 2024, and if you understand how to use them, you could dramatically reduce your financial risk. I'm talking about cutting potential penalties by up to 85%. So in this video, we're going to walk through what's changed under California's new PAGA reform, what the reasonable steps defense really means, and how tools like Timeero can help protect your business and prove you were doing things right all along. And to help you get started, we also included a free California meal break policy template you can download. Just check the pinned comment below this video. It's a great first step toward building a documented, compliant break policy your team can actually follow. Now, before we dive in, you need to know that this video provides general information only and doesn't constitute legal advice. California employment law is incredibly fact-specific, so if you have questions about your unique situation, it's always best to consult a qualified employment attorney. Okay, let's start by understanding the problem that this reform was designed to fix. Under the original version of PAGA, even minor mistakes like a late meal break, a pay stub formatting error, or a single rounding issue could result in massive penalties. And it didn't matter if the violation was accidental or if you'd made a good faith effort to comply with the law. There was no flexibility and no recognition of intent. And since PAGA allows employees to file on behalf of the state, it opened the floodgates for lawsuits, especially in industries with large hourly workforces. But in mid-2024, California passed Assembly Bill 2288 and Senate Bill 92, a major overhaul to PAGA that finally gives employers the chance to defend themselves if they take action and document it properly. So what exactly does that defense look like? One of the biggest changes in the new version of PAGA is the introduction of something called the reasonable steps defense. Here's how it works. If you, as an employer, can show that you took reasonable steps to comply with California labor laws before an employee files a PAGA notice, then your potential penalties can be reduced significantly to just 15% of the maximum. Even if you didn't have everything in place beforehand, you can still reduce your exposure to 30% if you take corrective action within 60 days of receiving a notice. That's a massive reduction in risk, and one that can be the difference between staying in business and facing financial disaster. But this leads to an important question. What exactly counts as reasonable steps? Well, the new law doesn't provide a strict checklist, but it does offer guidance. Courts will be looking for signs that you were proactive. That means showing that you were conducting regular audits, that you had clear and compliant written policies in place, that you were training managers on labor laws, and that you were actually correcting issues when you found them. It's not about being perfect. It's about proving you weren't ignoring your responsibilities. Now, it's one thing to say you took all the right steps, but in court, that's not enough. You have to be able to prove it. And that means keeping your documentation in order. If you've done audits, keep those reports. If you updated policies, keep signed acknowledgments from employees. If you've provided training, keep those records and certificates. The bottom line is this: if you can't show it, it didn't happen. That's how the court will see it. And that's why documentation isn't just helpful, it's essential. Fortunately, there are tools that make this process easier and more reliable, and one of them is Timeero. Timeero is designed to help companies stay compliant with California labor laws and document compliance in real time. Break reminders help employees stay on track. Timeero reminds employees to take their required meal and rest breaks so they don't accidentally miss them during busy shifts or long days in the field. One feature that stands out is the daily sign-off. Before an employee can clock out, they're prompted to answer a simple question. Did you take all your legally required breaks today? Their answer is logged with timestamps, signed digitally, and stored as part of your records. If a claim comes later, you've got documentation showing that the employee confirmed they received their breaks. Then there's the break enforcement logic. California law is very specific. Meal breaks have to be at least 30 minutes, and rounding isn't allowed. If an employee tries to clock back in too early, Timeero requires the full 30-minute meal break before allowing them to return to work. This helps prevent accidental violations and keeps you compliant. And finally, GPS and geofencing help document whether meal breaks were truly off-duty, which is what California law requires. For example, if a break starts while someone is still driving or actively working, Timeero surfaces that so the record stays accurate. That way, you have clear documentation showing the break actually counted as a legal meal break. In short, Timeero doesn't just help you follow the law, it helps you build the evidence you'll need to prove it later. Look, PAGA claims are still a real threat. There's no way to stop an employee from filing a notice, but you can absolutely take control of what happens next. If you've done the work, trained your team, fixed your issues, and documented everything, the law now gives you a chance to avoid the harshest penalties. Being proactive isn't just a good idea, it's now your strongest defense. So if you want to start building that defense into your daily operations, Timeero can help. You can get started today with a free 14-day trial using the first link in the description below. No credit card, no risk, just real protection for your business. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future updates on California labor laws and compliance tools. And if you'd like to learn more about how to stay compliant with California's meal and rest break laws, check out the next video on your screen. See you in the next one.